Cool, thank you. Um, this evening, I just want to talk about our friends in spirit and how close they are to us. And it seems to me how much things have changed, or perhaps how much we're learning about things now. We know from Zodiac that those in spirit are around us all the time. We know they're close to us all the time. We also know that we don't ask for help very often. And they want to do so much more for us if we did ask for help. But they are waiting for us. And I'm quite fascinated what's taken place in the circle that I teach the last few years, where some things have taken place which I didn't know could take place. But if you create the opportunity, spirit will do everything they can to help you and to help you progress. And when we think what's taken place with our church over Zoom, I am fascinated. So when the church closed, for a few months we didn't do anything, and then we started on Zoom. Why we started, I'm not quite sure. Maybe Spirit put the thought into our minds. But once again, we took the step. We tried something out on Zoom thinking, well, I must admit, I thought it wouldn't work, but it did work. And it's been fascinating, once again, how what has taken place really is no one from Spirit has tapped us on the shoulder and say, do this or do this, but they are there for us all the time. So the services on Zoom, we started doing that. And then inspiration has been everywhere. As you're all aware, when I've asked someone to do something, everybody has put so much effort into it. And one person has inspired the next person, and so it has grown. But we had to start it in the first place. And then there's healing. Now, we know about apps of healing. We know about the power of prayer. We know that we can pray to Jesus Christ and ask healing to go to anybody. We know this can be done. We're also well aware that we all have barriers around ourselves. And in the church situation, when the church was open, people would come into the church and they would ask for healing at the end of the service. So again, by asking for healing, they're lowering down their barriers, and we could do the hands-on healing. And then healing over Zoom, which I had grave doubts about, works very well. When we tried this out initially, I did wonder, but the person we're giving healing to are normally in their own house. They're absolutely, totally relaxed. And sometimes I think we are the daft ones, really we are. Why didn't it ever occur to us there wouldn't be a problem? We've only got to think about those in spirit and they are around us. We only got to think about our loved ones and they draw close because they want to. But once again, it's us. We have to think about them. So when you're giving healing over Zoom, that person is sitting there in the peace, in the quiet, and we can pray for them and their loved ones draw very close. Now, I've been amazed the healing that we give in group. Often I give healing on a one-to-one basis. But when it's taking place, I can sense people all around them. Sometimes I can sense them here and there, and it works and it takes place. But again, this is an example of our friends in spirit waiting for us to do something. We tried it. They'll help us any way we can. And it keeps making me think there's so much more we can do. I think it's limitless what we can do, but we have to start it off. They are there for us. And then over Zoom, we started doing readings, and I've done quite a large number of readings over Zoom now. And I was thinking initially, how can this work? You know, I'm used to people coming to my house, preparing to do the reading, talking them through it, giving them a reading. Hour or so later, hour and a half, they leave. And you think, how can this take place Zoom? But again, this is us. This is us holding things back. So as we're holding it back, spirit are waiting for us. So when it came to do a reading, why wouldn't they be there? And in retrospect, it's easy to say that now. But at the time, I did wonder. But when you're giving a reading over Zoom, it's just as easy, if not easier, than someone coming to your house. And when I'm giving a reading, I can sense the people around me exactly the same as if they were here. But in some cases, it's easier because the person you're talking to is in their own house and they are relaxed. So they bring their barriers down once again. So all this is going on, and all the time I'm wondering, are we holding things back? Is it us who are stopping things, thinking, oh, it can't be done like that, it can't be done like that? Surely we've just been shown over the last 8 months or so that things can be done differently. And I'm fascinated about this evening because as I sit here and talk to you, this is normally where I teach. And there are those gathering around us here now. There are various people here that we would know. And the point is, why shouldn't they be here? It's not supposed to be a dramatic event. So when we think of our loved ones, they draw close, and they are drawing close to us now. And there is one or two people here who'd like to say a few things. So if you bear with me, I didn't really want to do clairvoyance this evening, but the point is, what I'm talking about this evening is going with the flow as much as I can. So I just want to try something out here this evening. Brian, you're looking at me at the moment. Brian, can you unmute yourself? Are you with me, Brian?
How's that, Rob?
Loud and
Is
clear.
that okay?
Yes. The reason I want to talk to you this evening is because Betty is here. Betty, the people who don't know, is a president of our church who passed away about 3 years ago. Now, Betty's here this evening. My father's here this evening. There's a whole group of other people. This isn't supposed to be a Stanton. We only have to think of our friends and loved ones, and they draw close. Betty's here at the moment. Brian, do you remember with Betty looking out of the window and seeing mice in the garden? And you understand, this is just Betty trying to prove a point because she wants to mention this to everybody. You'd understand how much she loved the mice in the garden, on the plants in the garden, field mice, that sort of thing out there. She used to love to see that, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
She really didn't want to know that they were a problem and you had to get rid of them as well. You would understand
Correct.
that.
Yes, yes.
She's just coming across to you, but to everybody here has to say, it's how important is the little things that we do. She can only say so much to everybody because obviously when you're on the other side, she's learning new things all the time. But what she wants to say to all of you, and this is an opportunity for her to do this, and she's saying this is her privilege to be able to do this. She's here, but it's not dramatic because it's not supposed to be dramatic. It is gentle and it is loving. She's saying that the little things in life are important. When you go out in your garden and you see a flower, you see the beauty of the flower, you smile at that flower, you smell that flower. This is all wonderful. She's saying it's wonderful simply because your mind's in the right place. You're appreciating the beauty of God, the beauty of the flower. So everything, the thoughts are all lovely. She's talking about it's the little things. If you keep doing the little things, they're just helping someone, helping this thing. This is the important thing of the life, not to keep looking for the big things to take place. It's all the small things, and that helps us move on. Brian, you'll also understand that some of the things you planted together and the bulbs in the tubs didn't grow as well as they should have done this year.
No, that's correct.
Yeah. And she's just saying, don't worry about it, because you understand the beauty that's in your garden anyway, don't you?
Yes, I do.
You understand how close she is, and that's what this is all about. Betty's talking about that she can't explain everything to us because many of us knew her so well. You would think she can come here and explain this and explain this, but she's saying there are so many things that she has learned that it is so difficult to put into words. As Zodiac has mentioned time and time again, he doesn't have the words to explain things. And one of the other things she's mentioning there, she's Graham and Julie, can you unmute yourself for a second? You weren't expecting that?
Yeah. Can you hear?
I can hear you just about. The reason she's coming through to talk to you is you've seen things and you're talking about these lights that you've seen in your house. You understand what I'm talking about, moving around in your room. The point is, Betty can't come here with an explanation of what's taken place. And the problem is our minds. It's how we think of things. There isn't words to explain. If you explain them as a life form, then our minds straight go down this path of this life form, that life form straight away. If you describe them as energy, then we think, oh, it's nothing real. It's just an energy or something rather. What she's trying to say, there is so much around us that is taking place that she cannot explain what they are until you have moved on. She's not saying for 1 minute that she understands everything. It's not working like that at all. But she now understands how difficult it is to explain things. But talking about this situation and talking about what's taken place, it is what is available to us. is what I'm trying to portray this evening. And Betty's here with the same comments, with the same thoughts, what can be done. We often hold ourselves back because we don't believe we can do this. We don't believe we can do that. We all understand, as you study to be mediums, spiritualists, all of us, the more we learn, the realize how little we understand. But the simple, beautiful facts of loving those around us and helping people is for all time. You know, it's there in the Bible, it's in the Zodiac Message, it is there for all time. The simple, beautiful things are there for all of us. But during our lives, the mountains that we climb, ask for help. When you want to help someone else, do it automatically. You want to help someone, but you don't know how to. Pray, ask how to do it. How can you do this? Those loved ones are around us all the time. They are our friends as true, true friends, asking nothing in return. They want to help all of us. That's what they want to do. This is really coming to an end now, but there's one thing that I have been asked to do,